You know what I hear more than anything? That one income isn't enough anymore. That you need two people working just to keep up. As a single mom with only one income, my mom's been doing it her whole life. And she's done things most two-income households haven't figured out. She bought a house with zero down, negotiated with the seller into paying every single closing costs, found a home with an apartment in the back that now pays the entire mortgage, taxes, insurance, utilities, every month. She hasn't paid a dollar in housing costs in nearly 6 years. And when I tell people that, they say the same thing every time. That's not possible anymore. My mom just looks at me because she already did it. I'm Vienna, like the city in Austria, not the sausage, and this is Wandering Vienna, where I share how my mom and I travel the world and the whole finance side of actually making that happen on a single mom's regular income. And stay to the end of this video because I'm going to walk you through exactly what my mom did step by step. And there's a number in this story that's going to stop you cold. Once you see it, you're going to think differently about every house you've ever walked past. I grew up hearing certain things about money. You need two incomes just to survive right now. You can't buy a house with 20% down. The market's too expensive for regular people. Zero down doesn't exist anymore. You need perfect credit. You need a partner. You need more than you have. I heard all of those things out in public. My mom heard the same things. She was a single mom with one income, no inheritance, no backup. Every reason people give for why it can't be done. That was her situation. There was a businessman my mom knew. He told her something that stopped her. When he got married in 1981, mortgage interest rates were over 18%. Most people just gave up on the idea of buying a home, but he didn't accept that as the answer. He found first-time homebuyer programs in rural areas at rates way below what everyone else was paying. That was his start, looking for a different way when everyone around him said it couldn't be done. My mom listened to that, and that way of thinking, that awareness, moved into our home, and eventually it moved into me. And she bought a house anyway, on one income with nothing down. She wasn't just looking for a deal, she was using a filter nobody around her was using, and that filter found something most people walk right past every single time they go house hunting. Most people go looking for a house and think about the kitchen, the neighborhood, the school district, the curb appeal, but my mom had one filter: maximum square footage at the lowest price per square foot. That's the whole thing. She went online and looked at 200 homes before she walked into a single one, and then she narrowed it down to just 10, and went to those 10 in person. She already found the zero down first-time homebuyer program, and knew exactly which areas it covered. So by the time she walked into those 10 homes, she already knew what she was looking for. She found a house that had been sitting on the market for almost a year. A motivated seller, desperate to move it, so my mom negotiated. The seller paid 100% of the closing costs. My mom paid zero down and zero at closing. And the house had a separate apartment attached to it. It just needed carpet and paint. That's it. My mom paid $37 a square foot for that house. The average in her area at that time was $75 to $85. A 3,650 square foot home at market rate should have cost between $273,000 and $310,000. My mom paid $135,000. She walked in with over $138,000 of equity built in before she made a single payment. She had PMI before she put nothing down. Most people hear PMI and think penalty for not having 20%. But when you buy at that kind of discount, appreciation closes that gap quick. 3 years later, the home was worth $300,000. Her equity position was $165,000. That's 55% of the home's value. PMI was gone. She still hadn't put a single dollar down at closing. The cost to renovate the 500 square foot apartment was $2,000. Time to recover that $2,000 through Airbnb income was 45 days. Most investors tie up $100,000 and wait years to see a return. My mom tied up $2,000 and got every dollar back in 45 days. She didn't list it the day she moved in, she did something first, and when I tell people what it is, they almost always say the same thing. I would have never thought to do that. Before my mom listed it on Airbnb, she had a friend stay there for 3 years, gave them time to get on their feet, and she didn't charge anything. When my mom finally listed it, the money she received didn't immediately start going into investments. My mom had already been building her emergency fund with her regular income. Those first Airbnb checks helped speed that up. She set aside 10 to 15% of those first checks towards it, because my mom knew she could get sick or lose her job, and her income would stop. My mom had watched enough people build something and then lose it, because they spent every dollar before anything was actually stable. Once the emergency fund was there, the Airbnb income started going into the index fund. $1,000 a month of Airbnb income now goes into a separate S&P 500 index fund, projected at 10.5% for nearly 6 years of that running in the background, while my mom lives in the home for $0 a month, on one income the whole time. What my mom built isn't just a house, it's a machine. And once you see what it actually produces every single month, the number is going to be hard to believe. Most people just think of a mortgage as the bill that shows up every month, the big one, the one that makes everything else harder to figure out. My mom's home cost her nothing every month. The Airbnb income covers the mortgage, taxes, insurance, utilities, all of it. And the income left over goes into an index fund every month for nearly 6 years. 3 things from one decision: free housing, Airbnb income, and compounding investment on one income. No partner, no inheritance, no lucky break. She just knew what was out there. She was patient enough to find the right seller, and she did something everyone around her said couldn't be done. So the next time someone tells you one income isn't enough, just think about what my mom built on that income, and then ask yourself, did they ever actually look for a different way, or did they just accept what everyone around them said? My mom and I were at the park, 2 women next to us going back and forth about why it can't be done. One income isn't enough. The market's too hard. You need 2 people. My mom didn't argue. She doesn't do that. We got up and she drove us home, to the house she paid nothing for, that pays for itself every month, that's been building her future on one income for nearly 6 years. Most people never check if what they believe is actually true. They just keep saying it. My mom keeps looking, and she found a different answer. I'm 15. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm sharing what I watched my mom do. This is her story. If it makes sense for your life, you're welcome to try it. That's completely up to you. Comment below if this just changed how you see things. And make sure to subscribe to Wandering Vienna if you haven't yet. Hit the like button, it tells the algorithm you liked this content. I post content like this every single week, and I don't want you to miss what's coming. And share this with a friend who you think needs to hear this. I'm Vienna, this is Wandering Vienna, and make sure to come back because there's always more to explore. Bye!